So it's about 11 o'clock, and it looks like I'm waking up today after all. I sat down to wait out a render a little after 3, and I passed out until about 8. Um, I haven't been able to get back to sleep since, so it looks like I'm awake for the day. Um, although, I mean, 4 or 5 hours of sleep is actually not unusual for me, but usually that's like when I'm at full strength. So, if I'm able to have a full day on that little sleep, that means I'm back to being full strength. Do I feel like I'm at full strength? My back's a little sore still, but my head's pretty clear, so I very well may be back at full strength. We'll find out. If not, I may sleep a little early and then wake up for a proper day a little later on the 20th, which may actually push me back rather than push me forward. So we'll see how that works out. For right now, I'm just focusing on actually catching up with the vlogs, which means I need to watch some things, I need to upload some things. I don't want to do this all day, so it'll be a few hours, and then I'll stop and get back to what I was doing. Um, I hope I can get most of that page cleared off by the end of the day, because well, it's I'm turning over into Wednesday. See, I say that now I get sleepy, so I don't know. This might be a 2-minute blog. It might work out that way. So yeah, I gotta do stuff on Thursday. So I want to be done or almost done by the time I start doing stuff. So I got 24 hours left for this. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop when it's time, but I want to be just about there. So hopefully I get there. And then I can start rounding up data from other places. I knew that when I did this, it was going to be time consuming. I was planning on putting it off for a considerable amount of time into the future, but this is when it happened, and this is how it's going, and this is how long it's taking. I don't know. I said a few days ago, it could be a week. It could be standing from where I am right now. This could be another week. But I'll at least get out and do some stuff on Thursday. And I'm sure that I'll have plenty to rant about as the day goes on. But yeah, I am up on the 19th. And like I say, this might be the extent of the vlog, because I might fall back asleep, but it did happen anyways. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. And I've been, I slept for like an hour, and I've been up and down. It's see, I'm used to going through this one. It's weird. It's like I've had like a delayed reaction. It's like I'm feeling the effects of not smoking now instead of when I started. So I've been like awake and sleep and awake, and it's. I feel like I'm going to be awake for a bit longer, but then I'll no doubt fall asleep. And like every time I want to fall asleep, I can't fall asleep. But I'm at the same time I'm clearly very tired. So I wanted to point that out. I don't think that there's going to be much done today, and it's not clear to me yet how I'm going to split this up. The truth is that I haven't really finished a sleep yet. From the 19th, and thus I still feel like I woke up on the 18th, even though it was the 20th. So, like the day that started late on the 18th hasn't really ended yet. That's the actual truth of it. The other thing I wanted to point out, is that I've been going through these vlogs, and I kind of wanted to make an effort to kind of keep my face off the camera for this week. I pointed out that it was partly because I wanted to keep track of the effects of the hormones. It's also because I'm focusing on not smoking. I'm not focusing on ensuring that I look good for this week. and so that there might be kind of little bits and pieces of me, where you can see like hair on my face, or I know there was one vlog a few days ago where like you can see my underwear, for a good while kind of thing, and I just didn't bother changing it or editing it or, um, because the reality is that during these periods I've been so like not there that I'm picking this up. If I had 100% control of my, like if I had if I had a complete presence of mind, and the truth is I still don't, then those wouldn't have been there in the first place, kind of thing. So in that sense, it's a proper document of the fact that I'm like out of it, kind of thing. Like I'm so out of it that I'm picking myself up in my underwear and I'm not noticing it. I'm so out of it that I'm picking myself up without having shaved and not noticing it. In fact, I'm so out of it that you know, I'm not shaving at all even. So even as I'm increasing my estrogen boostage, right? So I mean, like all of these things are like, there's all these contradictions that are happening right now, and um, I kind of wanted to just ignore it, but going through the footage, I'm realizing that I can't really ignore it. It is there, and it's like people are going to see it if they're looking for it, and it's just like, hey, I'm focusing on quitting smoking right now. I'll focus on presentation aspects, when I get fully over this next week or whatever it is. Like I said, right now, I should be waking up right now, really, from a longer sleep. Um, like I say, I've had something like 5 hours of sleep um, over the last 36 hours, which is just weird. And I have been through this before, quite a lot. It's partly the weather and partly the heat. Um, when the weather comes up, the heat will come down, and that'll help. It's the dryness. It's People don't realize this. Like the reality is that people that live in northern climates spend most of their lives in desert conditions because the indoor heating is very dry. Um, so it's not like, I mean, like there's a lot of water outside and everything, and it's great, but um, it's very dry indoors. And I had this argument a few weeks ago with people from out west, talking about the difference between dry and wet cold. It's like if you've ever lived out east here, like it's dry. Um, like maybe the air might be a little bit cooler if you're outside, but when you're inside, like it's a desert condition, and like there are actually known health issues that are a consequence of how dry the inside air is, from the heat. So um, this is the truth of it. It's a few more hours. So I'm going to be in a haze for a bit. Hopefully, I can at least finish. These were all very long vlogs. I say that even as I'm continuing with these very long vlogs. And in fact, until I get back to work, they probably will be very long vlogs. I think I'm going to try to make a conscious point of trying to maybe cut them down. Not because I'm concerned about people watching them. Right now, I know there aren't many people watching them, and I think that um, if I'm looking for a demographic, it's not like I'm clearly not going to appeal to the boom boom action film type of demographic, right? I'm going to appeal more to the psychological thriller type, the kind that wants to build more of a long term connection with a character, which is a smaller audience, and that's fine. I'm not, as I've said before, I'm not really producing a production here. I'm just recording my life. I'm documenting myself for historical reasons, because I do consider myself to be a substantial composer of music, and that's really what all of this comes down to. Is I'm just leaving a historical record for future generations. Because what the hell else are you gonna do? If you could accomplish immortality, then all of a sudden your life would matter because the future would have a purpose. But all you're able to really get done in a life where mortality is taken for granted, where existence does end. All you can do is leave records for the future, and hope that one day when people can be immortal, they can look back and learn something um, from what it is that you were able to accomplish, and probably laugh at you and how pathetic you were. Um, but nonetheless, that's what it's all about. It's just all about leaving records for historians to sort through. Um, Everything else is meaningless. So I'm not concerned about that. Like an audience, or your vlog's too long, man. I don't want to watch your vlog. It's too long. Well, then don't. Go watch something else. I will shed no tear, and I will give no fuck. Um, but I mean, for me, it's like when it's just a pain in the ass to. I mean, I have to watch all of these before they come up, right? So I'm gonna try to make them a little bit shorter. It was fine when I was like tripping out. It's like yeah I am. I'm quitting smoking. It's a big thing, and I am tripping out. And let's get it all down, right? But I'm kind of getting over that. Like I say, I think that what I'm feeling right now has more to do with the environment that I'm living in, the dryness in the air, than it is with the non-smoking. Even though I feel just like I should be asleep, but I can't sleep. um, Insomnia. Hello, insomnia. Actually, I have had issues with insomnia for. Actually, you know what? I was brutally insomniac before I started smoking. And despite the fact that the reason that I started smoking was to stay awake, the only reason I had any experience with that was because I had such issues with insomnia. And actually, in the long run, um, smoking actually regulated myself a little bit, so that I might have been able to push myself a little bit longer, but I actually crashed, right? So instead of dealing with what I'm dealing with right now, which was these kind of long shifting days that were shapeless and who knows what else attached to it, it was more like I would have my 48 hours or my 52 hours, and then I would sleep. And I would have my 52 hours, and then I would sleep. Um, Now I'm back to. Well, we'll find out. I hope I'm not back to this. Always half asleep, never sleeping, never awake. You know, purgatory that I do remember. Um, then again, the flip side of that is a lot of my music came out of that. Um, it's true. I mean, like, I may have been young at the time, but a lot of what was actually done was done at 3 o'clock in the morning when I was supposed to be asleep. And I had school, and I went to school, and I did well. But it was like making music in the middle of the night because I couldn't sleep. Um, or maybe I'm just rationalizing, um, which is something that I'm not going to allow myself to do this time. There's not going to be this rationalizing point. I'm just going to kind of chill out a little, get some juice, and finish editing. But yeah, I mean, that's the reality right now is I'm not awake and I'm not asleep. I should be asleep. I should be awake. I don't know what day this is for the vlog. I know that I need to get the recycle out sometime around when the sun comes up, and the sun should be up fairly soon. So, maybe when the sun comes up, my body will decide what day it is and whether it wants to sleep or not. I don't know. Well, it's a little after 11 and I'm still awake, so it does seem like I'm up for the day. I went out to take my recycle out. We got a little bit of a dusting of snow, but I mean, like, this is what I mean. Like, that's not snow. It's like barely there. Snow. There's my recycle back there. It usually comes up through this way a little later in the afternoon, so I'll carry on 3 or 4. I hope I'm able to stay awake long enough to go get it, because it's always the worst when you have to go out at night or the next morning even. I like to get it. I don't like to put it out until like they're just about there kind of thing. So I don't like to put it out until around noon, and I don't like to take it out. I don't like to leave it out like much longer than a few minutes after they're gone, kind of thing. You can usually actually even hear them come through. So, but what I wanted to point out was that this is the last bit of coffee I'm gonna have for a while. I'm not making any conscious desire to quit drinking coffee or anything. I'll be back at it. But I'm not going to be drinking any more. I'm not going to buy any soy milk for the rest of the month. And I've got a lot of Dr. Pepper to drink. Like I say, I was thinking that I would run out of soy milk a lot sooner than now, and that this would come up sooner, and that I would drink a lot more juice and everything else than I have been. I haven't needed as much. Like I say, this has been ironically, this has been the weakest physical effects. Like as scatterbrained and ridiculous and half retarded as I seemed, this has actually been the weakest effect that I've had yet regarding the non-smoking. So, but I mean that's it. So we'll have to see how that affects me. I think that I should get enough caffeine from the Mountain Dew to keep me awake for a bit. But I mean, I want to clear that out so that I can get back into my kind of normal liquid routine, which is coffee and water. Juices. I do tend to keep some juice around, and so I probably won't open the last container, or if I do, it'll be like last kind of thing. Those big containers, I bought them because they're on sale, but I do prefer the regular carton-sized containers. They fit in the side of the fridge better and everything else. I mean, you don't really want those juice containers open too long, right? And the amount of juice I actually drink is more conducive to the smaller container. I find when I have the open ones, and I'm not like I'm still pounding the juice kind of thing, but if I wasn't, then the amount that I'd be drinking, I would end up throwing half of it out, kind of thing. So, I will probably pound that. I've got 1.5. Well, there's not much left in that one that's in the front there. So and then I've got a full one. So, it'll probably be another week before that gets through, and then I've got like 5 or 6 days worth of Dr. Pepper to get through. So I mean, there's going to be quite a bit of that. It could be a while before I have another cup of coffee. But yeah, I mean the juices. I do like to have a little bit around, like I say, but it's really not. If you have a decent diet, which I do, then juice isn't really that useful. It's just sugar and vitamin C. You could imagine how juice could be made better if the juice companies treated juice the same way that they treat milk, which means throwing all kinds of good stuff in there, and you could. There's no reason why you couldn't throw, iron and calcium and vitamin D, and in fact, if you look around, you'll see orange juice that has been fortified with various things. But on its own, the juice of the orange is not really the best juice to consume, because there really isn't a lot in it besides. Citrus fruit is great for what it does. It'll, you will not get scurvy. You can be certain of that. If you drink lots of orange juice, you will not get scurvy. And I mean, the whole idea behind giving yourself citric acid, it's, to push the whole Krebs cycle thing. I'm not even sure if that's even scientifically valid. Although you do get bit of a boost of energy. I think it's probably more to do with the glucose than the vitamin C. But I mean, regardless, your body does need vitamin C, and whatever it's doing with it, it is useful to it. But I mean, it's not. I eat tomatoes every other day. I got strawberries and in my smoothies. I don't need to be like I don't need juice as a part of my diet. I get enough vitamin C as it is. Um, but like I say, it is still good to have around. Mostly because if I'm gonna really honestly, the most often time I have juice is if I'm gonna make spaghetti or if I'm gonna buy a pizza. Um, that's most people I guess would associate pop with pizza, but I tend to drink juice with pizza. Um, so, anyways, point being, was more about the coffee. Um, what do I think that not drinking coffee will do to me? Probably not much, besides maybe um, loosen me up a little bit. We'll see how that works out. Um, if I end up feeling a lot looser, I might actually stick with it for a little while. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I mean, coffee's a lot cheaper than Mountain Dew. Um, there's really there are reasons why it's preferable. I don't really think that there's much that's that bad in a Mountain Dew. Um, it it's more the preservatives than anything else. The flip side of that is coffee has a lot of antioxidants in it. Coffee is actually good for you, so long as you don't drink as much as I do. Right. So, it's kind of a balancing act. I'm gonna try to, like I said, I'm gonna tone it down for a little bit, see how I feel. I have toned down the coffee before, and I've toned down the cigarettes before, but never at the same time. I don't think I've ever toned down the coffee while I was quitting smoking. So, I'll have to see how I feel with the combination of the two things. Um, and like I say, I think it might. I think I might be pleasantly surprised. Let me say that. I I smoked for. I didn't smoke that long. I was only for about um, a little less than 15 years. Um, that's not. That's a short period for most people. And I'm sure they'll have the odd cigarette. What I'd like to get back to is back to my old routine, which was, and I did this for a couple of years. When did I actually? So let's take a step back. When did I actually quit smoking? Or sorry, when did I actually start smoking? It was near the beginning of. That would have been. No, it would have been about halfway through first year, which would have been the beginning. Sorry, no, the would have been it would have been around the beginning of 2001. So that would have been when I turned 20, and I quit smoking when I turned 35. So yeah, it's 15 years. See, I know that people are probably thinking that that's not a long time, but it actually seemed longer than I thought. I pointed out before that I was very anti-tobacco, and when I started, I didn't think I'd smoke that long. But before I started, I mean, like I didn't just pick up a pack of cigarettes and start smoking. I had figured out in a process that was about a 2 or 3 year process that it works as a stimulant. And if I go way back, I guess I'm looking at when I was about Yeah. Oh, that would have only been. Well, no, it would have. Yeah, okay. So I was a little bit older. I was always a year older than most of the people that were around me because I was born right at the beginning of January, which means that I had to wait the full year to go to kindergarten. And even when you're in grade, 11 or 12, you're still, with your peer group that you went through that you started with. I mean, I didn't know anybody from kindergarten because I switched schools, and I went to a very small school. The oldest, I had a friend that I met in grade 3 that I knew um, all the way through high school and even a few years after, and that still is in loose contact with. Um, uh, 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 well, no, I yeah, it's up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I could say I was in loose contact, but I mean it's not anymore. Um, that was really the closest, and there was just one. Um, there were only 6 people in my grade 6 class. Um, it was small. So um, but yeah, because of that I was always a year older than everybody else, so I could buy cigarettes a year before anybody else could. Um, I could also buy beer a year before anybody else could, so I was useful. Um, and I didn't smoke, but it you, you go to a party, it's useful to have a pack of cigarettes there. Number one, because you need it for rolling, and number two, because people do want to have a cigarette when they're having a beer or whatever else, right? So I was often tasked with the um, obligation of bringing a pack of cigarettes to the party, and I'd give away 5 or 6, and I'd smoke, maybe 10 over the course of the night. And that number kind of slowly increased, right? And until I kind of learned that um, I was able to compare. Okay, on this night I went to the party and I didn't have cigarettes, and it's 4:30 in the morning and the sun's coming up and I'm tired. And then on this other night I went to the party and I brought cigarettes and I smoked a whole bunch and it's 4:30 in the morning and I'm awake. And realizing that this pattern was consistent and drawing the conclusions, okay, if I'm out partying all night and I'm smoking, that will help keep me awake. And I will not be falling asleep in the morning. And there it had that useful benefit as a stimulant, right? Um, I think, like to get back to that. Um, Now, at my age, I'm gonna be out, drinking all night infrequently. Um, Basically, while I'm looking at my schedule, I'm gonna be heading to Ann Arbor in March to see Tortoise. I don't know how I'm getting there. I don't know how I'm getting home. But that's enough. That's a good um, possibility where I might be up all night. Um, and I think it's likely that I'll probably buy a pack of cigarettes at that point. Between now and then, it seems less likely. Although I may see if I can bum a smoke or two at a few different concerts. What I want to do is I want to make sure I bring some money that I can convert into cash. Um, I don't want to. I will not be buying a pack of cigarettes unless like it's an all nighter kind of situation and I want it to keep awake kind of thing. And like I say, the only we haven't done that yet. There was a possibility. Actually, no, we did that. We did with the Skinny Puppy show. Was that right? Um, the Pinkish Black show could have been that, but it was over quite early. And there will be other shows like that, even as I'm getting old. I don't look at I can fool people into thinking that I'm a young person that's stuck out all night. Um, Anyways, I actually kind of enjoy it on a certain level, as long as it's not too cold. The puppy show it was maybe 5 degrees colder than I would have liked it to be, right? So, um, and it was above zero. It was like 5 degrees or something. If it was like 12 degrees overnight, that would have actually been quite pleasant. Um, anyways, I was talking about coffee, cigarettes. Yeah, so I mean, I smoked for 15 years. Coffee, it's been a little bit less than that. I got a job working at the Timothy's in late 2002, and I've basically been on coffee ever since. So that's 14 years. Well, 13. Yeah, it was late, so it's more like 13 and a bit. But like like it's been very rare periods where I'm not drinking coffee. So, and again, that's another um, process of relearning things around you, right? It's not as profound, but it's more of a you get jittery. I stutter. I think I always stuttered, but my stuttering might go down a little bit if I stop drinking coffee. We'll find out. I can't. I don't know. Um, I haven't done that experiment. We'll find out though. And here I am rambling. I'm past 17 minutes. You can't see and these vlogs just go on forever. So I am, like I say, I'm up today. This is going to be my 19th vlog. It looks like I'm going to be up for a while, and it may actually end up being the 20th that gets cut out. We'll find out. I don't know. I know that I am actually going to. I'm saving the vlog for the 17th right now. I am going to edit for the 18th and cut it off where it makes sense to cut it off, and I'll edit for today too, or at least put it in place. So that'll put me up until well, if the 20th gets kiboshed as it looks like it's going to, that'll put me up until the 28th, which will hopefully give me enough time to complete everything I want done. But it looks like I'm going to lose a day again today. So this is what I don't want to have happen, right? I just want this vlogging thing to be just like something I do on my side that doesn't take up any of my time. And I think it will stabilize that way once I'm able to get back to work, kind of thing. Or I may end up doing it like I could see myself. Well, no, I get. There's not any way I can pull myself back in time, right? I need to pull myself ahead of time. I could maybe see myself moving it off of a week, and maybe even to a month, to allow myself to put things aside better, so that I'm spending less time, or I'm concentrating my time more. I don't know. I mean, this is obviously all very spontaneous. I'm not scripting anything, obviously. Um, although, I was reading something the other. I was never. I was on the internet very young and everything, but that was actually kind of my. That was my black hole. Was right when everybody else got on. I stopped using the internet around 2005, maybe around 2004 ish. Well, I don't want to say I stopped using it. I was online, doing the things that I do online, but I was not engaging with people on the internet much between about, well, even earlier than that. I'd say maybe between about 2003 till about 2000. Actually, yeah, about 2003 to 2006. a lot of it just had to do with the fact that I was working. Um, and I mean I had a girlfriend for a while, and she was not technologically inclined. And I mean I preferred spending time with her than spending time with strangers um, on the internet, because as I mentioned before, the internet was about strangers, not about real people, right? Um, I guess when I came back, I interacted with it from a much further distance. But like instead of trying to meet people that I could become friends with from a distance on the internet, it was more um, pushing out a stream of information and being kind of a strange commentator. But yeah, that was my black hole. Was about 2:30. I don't remember why I was talking about that. But no, yeah, I wanted to get to the that was kind of so. I mean, like the whole YouTube thing. This is good. This is good. I'm clearing my shit out here. Okay. I'm gonna shave tomorrow before I go out and do stuff. I'll take a shower when I get back, and I should be back on the mirror then. I just needed some time to like I said, I don't want to be concerned about my appearance right now. I'm just trying to quit smoking, and I don't look so good as a result of it. But I also wanted to, like I say, I mean, I wasn't bullshitting when I suggested that I wanted to see if you could see a difference, kind of thing. Um, because I do suggest, I do feel that when a difference kicks in, it's going to be pretty big, pretty quick. But yeah, I was reading up on this. Like apparently there were people that seem kind of vaguely like me that were pushing, that were acting as fronts for production companies. One of them was called Lonely Girl. I haven't seen any of the vlogs, and I mean I would look up. Like I don't have any first time memory of this at all. I'm thinking that the earliest I remember using YouTube was to check out music videos, and it would have been probably around 2007-ish, 2008 maybe. Um, yeah. I mean, if you go to my Death to Koalas page, it says like joined up in 2008. That was like when I got a Gmail account. Um, like I didn't actually start using YouTube until 2013. Um, and it was because it integrated with the whole Google Plus thing. I didn't see it as really useful. Um, and on top of that, I wanted a front end. I thought that would be useful to integrate as a front end to the Bandcamp, and it didn't make sense to me to put anything up until 2013, and I didn't start vlogging until just a few months ago. So, I would have never thought a vlog was something that I would have ever had the slightest interest in. I would have laughed at you. I think largely because I thought that I expressed myself, and I do clearly express myself better in writing. My battery's I'm not getting the thing, but it's shrinking. So I've ranted so long that my batteries are out again. But I do express myself better in writing, and if I really want to actually get a point across, I'm going to write you an essay. I'm not going to make you a video. And the nature of these vlogs of being scattered thinking are a reflection of the fact that I have always expressed myself better in writing. And it should be obvious if you compare my writing to what I'm doing with this that it isn't scripted. If it was scripted, I'd be doing a lot better job than I'm doing. Trust me. That's the actual truth of it. So yeah, I mean, this is a slice of real life, and it's meant to be that. That's all it will ever be. But I really just wanted to point out 25 minutes ago that I'm cutting my coffee down. I've got a cup here, and that's it. I'm done after that. I may have even ranted so long that my render is finished, so I'm gonna go check that. I've been thinking about this disability report that I need to fill in, and the more I think about it, the more it makes me angry. I sent them files that indicated that I've been placed on disability by a doctor that has been accepted by the Ontario Disability Student or Support Program, and they're asking me for further documentation. I think they have a lot of nerve to even question the situation. From the position that they're standing in, they're bureaucrats. They probably have a high school education, if that. The idea that a lot of them are probably like I don't know exactly what I'm dealing with here, but I suspect I'm probably dealing with an outsourced organization full of high school dropouts. And the idea that they think that they can stand up and question a doctor's diagnosis, they should have no discretion here at all. If somebody sends them reports from ODSP, it should be like that's it. There should not be an independent review process here. They should not have their own assessment unit. That makes no sense. What they're essentially doing is they're saying that they're going to take a bunch of like contract workers and have them analyze whether the reports from these doctors are valid or not. It's the kind of thing that only could have been set up by the previous government. No. Canada's gone through some periods of conservative governments. They generally really have not been that bad. I mean, they've been foolish as you would expect, but none of them, only the Harper government could have come up with something that's that stupid. And I pointed out before that it really is it's a stupid process. You can see that I'm on disability. You can see that I'm not making anything close to enough to pay off the loan, and you want to take away what is essentially money. What is money that's designed for people like me that are in extreme low-income situations to pay off a debt that'll never pay off, and you think you have the right to question the doctor's notes when they send them to you? It's just utter nonsense. It's totally Kafkaesque. It's a completely Kafkaesque process. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to be I'm gonna be terse with them. I'm not going to jump through hoops, get doctors to fill out narratives. I'm just gonna send them a note that says that I sent you ODSP literature and you have no business questioning that. And appeal it if they don't like that. And if they don't like that, appeal it again. I'm thinking that that's really the proper response is to put my foot down and say I sent you literature, and you really I don't have to explain this to you further. You should be in total deference to the literature that I've already sent you. Period. No ambiguities. Nothing else to say. And I'm probably going to go ahead and mail that out tomorrow. I'm kind of tinderboxy about it right now. Jittery. And see, this is why did you send me this now? I'm trying to quit smoking, you assholes. You know, you're I'd really, you know what I want to do? I want to send them an email that says you're a piece of shit, and the end. And that's what I'm feeling right now is you assholes. Why are you stressing me out when I'm trying to not be stressed out? Over something that's obviously stupid. You want to stress me out over something that has a resolution? Maybe we can talk about that. But if you want to stress me out over something that's just flat out stupid and obviously has no solution, I don't even want to talk to you. So I'll try to get as much. If I can find the ODSP reference file, or maybe I'll go down to the doctors and ask them just to print it off. They have copies of it. Maybe just ask them to photocopy it. But I'm not going through this process. I'm going to be very terse with them. and tell them that they have an obligation to defer to the doctor that wrote the note, and that's it. So it's close to 3 o'clock, and I'm finally tired, so I'm gonna take advantage of it. That's snowing. That's how long that lasts for. Still not looking like a cover. Oh shit! I gotta get my. I don't think that they. I don't think they've come yet. Yeah, no, they haven't come yet. Mm. Okay then. Um. Yeah, I spent a little bit. Well, I just watched my vlog for the 17th, and it can go up, although I need to cut it up because there's a culinary and there's the bag part and everything else. But it's at least done. I mean, I've got 2 more left to do. Although I was working on that one, like I got nothing done today. Anyways, but before I did that, I wrote up a little bit of a letter for the loan people, and I could feel like I am not over this nicotine thing at all. I could feel myself like getting really frustrated and angry, and that doesn't happen to me. um, Normally, I'm very passive. Um, Actually, you know what? There's 2 times where I freak out like that. It's either when I'm quitting smoking or when I'm switching estrogen. So both of them at the same time. Like I say, I'm not going to the psychiatrist asking them to write a narrative letter. I think that the information that was provided was sufficient relative to what was requested. And I'm going to make sure that my letter that I send them is actually fairly snotty in drawing attention to that fact. And drawing attention to the reality that, holding to the student loan is not going to get anybody anywhere. And I'm going to be real clear about it, I've explained to them that this is a loan that you will never recover. Whether it takes you 5 minutes or 5 years to figure that out is really of little concern to me, because I have no assets and I have no income. It's really of concern to you, you being the people that I'm communicating with over the letter, not you that I'm talking to over the vlog. It's an interesting question to ask. You've already let a loan for a disabled person generate thousands of dollars worth of interest. How many thousands of dollars worth of interest are you going to let this loan generate before you realize that it's the person that you gave it to is disabled? And how many disabled people have outstanding loans, and how much interest are you allowing to generate on those? I really think I need to spin the issue around, because like I say, or like I said in the other, actually I said in the vlog that I just watched, any other kind of loan, the lender would take responsibility for the existing situation. It may not be the legal status quo, but it is the actual reality that they didn't do their due diligence, and I really am going to spin it around on them, and ask them the question: if you take away my tax refund and I can't pay my rent, will you accept negligence? Will you accept the responsibility for your negligence? If I end up homeless and I end up killing somebody in a drunken rage that is caused by you taking away the amount of money that it was required for me to pay my rent, will you take responsibility for that negligence? and really putting it on them. Because that is the reality of it. That I am diagnosed with a disability, that I can't work, that I'm not going to work, and that this is just a big stupid waste of everybody's time. Um, and just really driving that point across, making it absolutely clear, and just simply asking for a rational response. Um, but I mean, I could feel it in me. I could feel the fire burning and just, ugh. So, um, I could probably be awake for, well, I told you I was tired. I am, but I'm more like drained. I could be awake probably for a bit longer, get a little bit more done, but I really think I need to go to sleep. Like, in the sense that I need to center. I'm going to actually I actually have turned my laptop off. It's been a few days since it's been off. I'm going to turn everything else off, and I'm actually going to force myself to actually sleep for a few hours. And if everything works out well, it'll be the tomorrow when I wake up. Although that's probably some wishful thinking. I probably will wake up